Look, we are very excited to be in the office with Mr. Kalimullah. Mr. Kalimullah is a good friend of mine, and he is doing amazing work in South Australia in many areas. The reason for this video is just to share the knowledge when you, as a new immigrant, as a pharmacist or as a medical professional come, what are the important things you need to know. So Kalimullah, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Irfan?
I'm very well, thank you. Just requesting you today just to give some tips for those who are professionally qualified and coming to work. What are the things you think that they should know when they land here or they're arriving here?
Sure, Irfan. First of all, everyone, Assalamu alaikum. And when you come to Australia, it is important that you apply for your tax file number. If you want to work in any industry, whatever the job you want to do, you need to have a tax file number. It's a kind of like an ND, and in Pakistan we call it TFN number here, which stands for tax file number. For that one, you need to apply with the ATO, it's Australian Taxation Office. If you Google that, how to apply a tax file number, you will be able to find a link where there is two ways how you can apply for TFN number. One is you go online and fill up all your details, and then they request you to go to your nearest post office and to verify your identity there. You can apply for your tax file number from overseas. By the time you get here, you can get your appointment here with the postal office, and you can apply for that. It takes up to 28 days to get your TFN number in Australia. One thing very important you need to know is when you apply for a tax file number, if there is a question comes, are you a resident for tax purposes or non-resident for tax purposes? You make sure you tick resident for tax purposes, because when you're coming in Australia and living here for a long time period, then more than 6 months, then it means you are a resident for tax purposes. By this, the employer will take the less tax out of your wages. And then on the top, when you will go to the second thing which is most important here in Australia is your superannuation account, which you can open with REST, MLC, or any super account where you feel comfortable. You can go online, search as how to open a super account in Australia. There will be different links will come up where you can find the best one which is suitable to you. Superannuation is the same kind of a thing which we have in Pakistan called as Provident Fund. When you work for any bigger employer here, doesn't matter it's a bigger or smaller, everyone have to pay your super, which is 11% of your total wages at the current rate in Australia.
Which means that they pay additional on your salary.
That's correct.
It doesn't come out from this.
No, that's an extra employer have to put towards your provident fund,
yes,
towards your retirement, you can call it. This is the same like you have your bank account, you keep one bank account, you give that to everyone. The super account is also this one account. You cannot just open super for different employers. It will be one super account which you will need forever, and that's where you will accumulate your provident fund or your retirement money over the time period. By the time you get 60 years old or above, then you will be able to get your money out of it tax free. On the top, you need to open a bank account,
yes,
which is simple. You go to any bank account here in Australia and open a bank account. But when you go to open a bank account, they do ask you for a proof of address. To ensure that the document you have for a proof of address is you need to go into your relevant state, wherever you are in Queensland, New South Wales or South Australia. You need to go into the registry department there. In South Australia, we have a service essay. And you go there and ask them to make a proof of age card. That proof of age card will have your address on it, which you would need to open a bank.
It's similar like a driving license, but it's easier to get.
That's correct. That's correct. You don't need to. It's like to prove your age,
yes,
and will have that address on it.
Work as an ID document.
That's correct.
Everywhere, whichever you need. You don't have to carry your passport as well.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. On the top, the most important thing which I want to tell you about the taxation in Australia, doesn't matter you make $1 or you make $1 trillion, everyone gets taxed here in Australia. If you are a resident for tax purposes in Australia, there is a tax-free threshold, yes, of $18,200. So you will, yeah. So you will not pay any tax on that amount for the first $18,200. On all the incomes, what happens? Taxable income becomes actually TFN income, ABN income, interest from the bank, rental income. All these collectively known as a taxable income. So taxable income, if it's below than $18,200, you don't pay tax on that. So you get the whole money back if you earned less than $18,200. However, if you earn more than $18,200, then they will start taking the tax out of you.
A lot of people ask me that Australia charge a lot of taxes. So can you say a little bit about that?
They charge taxes. They give you back in the form of social security. They give you in the form of Medicare, free medical, in infrastructure and other things. That's correct. Australia do charge higher tax, but not as much like other countries. As I know, few countries do charge more than Australia as well. However, if you earn up to $100,000, let's say, $100,000, you'll be paying around $25,000 tax. So average is 25% tax for that.
Khalid, I want to explain that why we're doing this. You know that when we come to a new country, we need a doctor, we need a hospital, we need an accountant as well for your daily things which you probably don't know. So Khalid, why accountant is important for a person who is coming to Australia in terms of tax returns of these things?
Yes, because the new migrants are quite naive to their obligation towards the taxation here in Australia, and Australia do take the taxation matter very seriously. That's a very big crime here in Australia. You can kill a person in Australia, you can get away with it, but you will not get away with your taxation issues. That's what normally the Aussie says here. So you need a good accountant on your side who can guide you in the proper manner how to save your tax in a legal way.
Yeah, and I'll give you a very small example, especially the pharmacist that I came to know from Perth. We are in South Australia, and husband was a pharmacist. Unfortunately, he passed away, and I came to know that they haven't claimed that death insurance, which was available on the superannuation. So I actually connect with Kalimai, and he actually guided them, and they have now solved that. And that kind of thing that can be done even if you're going to Melbourne or even if you're going to anywhere in Australia. Like you can connect with Kalimai. He's a very trustable person and very honest, and he's doing this work here in Australia in many locations. Can you describe your expansion work?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a chartered accountant, and we have accountants here in we have around 30 accountants in Adelaide work with us in our group. We have around 7 locations in South Australia. We do operate all over Australia. It depends. The rest of the states we do offer clients online appointments where we can go on a Zoom or on a telephone. We can do your tax returns from there. Even though we do have clients who are in Pakistan, we do have one office in Pakistan as well in Lahore. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Kalimai, for talking to me. And if anyone want to be in touch, I will share Kalimai's contact details. So when you're in Australia, you can take advantage for his services. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.